body push day, really focusing on creating lots of tension and trying to make you a little bit sore by, you know, controlling tempo. I also varied most of the exercises that we had been doing over the last couple weeks. Try to do something a little bit different, get into some different ranges, load the tissues a little bit differently. You know, it's harder to vary something like a push-up, so more of the accessory work that we'll do later, it's going to be different. Morning, Amy. And yeah, so today will be more based around strength. Morning, Jesse. Thanks for joining us. Always excited to see you guys. See if Richard is up this morning, or if we have anyone else that will join. That would be cool. You know, as I said, we're going to be, you know, sticking to this kind of all body push day. We're going to vary some of the exercises. This is the third week of the program, so we're going to try and really challenge some of those positions today, and yeah, change things up a little bit, make it a little bit more, you know, keep it interesting. And yeah, today will be more strength, and then tomorrow we can get maybe your heart rate up and do some more rowing variations to kind of balance out some of the stuff we do today. But what we're going to do is start with a couple of drills to help kind of open our hips up. We're going to be doing more of a sumo squat stance today, and so it can be a little bit uncomfortable on the hips if people aren't used to it. But my experience, you know, started off, hey, morning, Richard. What's it say?
I'm here. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday. From my experience of doing it doing sumo style lifts, it was a little bit uncomfortable at first, but over time as I built more strength in the lateral part of my hips, it tended to feel better, and I can thank Dan for all that. So we're going to start in a 90-90 stretch, and so we've got like basically a box here in the front and then 90 degrees at the back. I'm going to try and stand up nice and tall, keeping my spine nice and straight. Just getting to this position sometimes can be challenging, might be kind of tight in this right hip, not allowing us to be upright. Do your best to get nice and tall. From here, thinking about folding from the hip, right? So I'm not rounding into this stretch with my spine. I want to practice good tall spine position as I fold forward, and I'm thinking about pinching, you know, from here, or pulling myself in right at the hip. And so from here, should start to feel a stretch at some point. And then from here, you can kind of work yourself out by pushing your leg through the ground and then actively pulling yourself in, right? So we want to do this with some intention and not just kind of hanging out in a stretch. Like, I want to try to squeeze some muscles to help me pull into that position and then pushing my leg out. And what we're going to do is for about 30 seconds, and then we'll switch. Pulling myself in, pushing myself out. Good. Nice tall spine position. Don't round into this. You're not going to get as good of a stretch, and then you're going to be stretching things in your back. And not that that's necessarily bad, it's just not really what we're trying to work on right now. We're really trying to aim at opening that hip up. You should.
Richard said I nailed his voice.
Say you. So about 30 seconds, and then we're going to try the other side. This nice tall 90-90. You might find that one side feels a little easier than the other, and there's going to be another drill that we do that's a little bit more asymmetrical. And almost always I find, maybe not every time, but most of the time I'll find that people can tell a difference left to right in their hip, and that's why I like that drill. Just to give some appreciation that we are asymmetrical, and that's okay. We just want to take it into consideration so that it doesn't become an issue at some point. Pulling myself in, nice tall spine. Should feel this kind of, you know, butt. Some people will feel it kind of in the other leg too. Are any of you guys watching Tiger King? We're on the last episode. That can't be real. There's no way.
Are you gonna look it up now?
It's like so ridiculous. Alright. Next drill is called Easy Money, and I'm going to need to lay back. I'll do this sideways so that It's easier for you to see. I need to turn the mat. No, I'm going that way.
Ugh.
So you're gonna lay. You're gonna need to get out of the way. You just got more in the way. You're gonna lay on your side. Let's see if I can get my whole body in here. From here, the top leg is gonna plant about hip height, and you're trying to plant the foot straight. So if you're kind of tight and you're not able to get the foot flat, just bring it down a little bit more towards your knee. But if you can get it up here, higher up towards the hip, great. If this is tough, especially on the right side when we go to that one, right now this is my left leg up. There's reasons for that, but this drill is nice because we can kind of address that. From here, we're just going to do 10 lifts with the bottom leg. So trying to lift, keeping that leg nice and straight. On the 10th one, you're going to hold. Again, we're just trying to, especially in this drill, trying to do, we talk about disassociating the hips, right? Or being able to get one hip into a certain position and the other one out. That's gait mechanics, right? Asymmetry through the pelvis is how we walk around, and we just want to be able to maintain as much of that as possible, and so we're not walking around like a box or a square. So this is a nice drill to kind of see, which hip is able to kind of open up, and then, usually it is the right, and I'll feel a difference on my right too. So it acts as a good stretch, it acts as a good challenging activity. If you're doing this well, pushing the knee up towards the ceiling, you might feel the outside of your top hip, inside of your bottom leg. That would be good. Holding on for about 10 seconds, and then we're going to switch sides. Usually here with that right leg, I'm going to turn this off. So typically here, when I have the right leg on top and I'm trying to really open and keep my knee up towards the ceiling, I feel a little bit more restricted on this side, and that's okay. Keep it nice and stacked. I'm going to raise that bottom leg. So I'm trying to keep my knee from collapsing towards the floor as I reach my bottom leg up towards the ceiling, right? I've got some videos, to explain more of, pelvis mechanics and stuff. So if you're interested, if you just go over to the Instagram, IGTV, there's longer videos there. They're like 3 to 4 minutes, just explaining. I have like a pelvis model. We talk about some of this stuff. So it's 10, and then you're gonna hold for about 10 seconds. And I'm curious if you guys see a difference. Let me know if you find a difference from left to right, or if it's more challenging to raise the leg up on one side. Try not to cheat, try not to arch your back and do anything weird. Try and stay nice and stacked as you go through it. That's how you'll find the best information. I got some. If it's okay for kids, should be. I mean, everything we're doing is pretty safe. They can always just do body weight variations of things if the weights are too difficult. But I mean, I have a 12-year-old who I brag about all the time. She can squat with a 45 pound dumbbell pretty well, and so they can do strength training. They just need to go through the progressions and be a little bit safer about teaching them how to
if it's Addison, it should be totally fine.
not get hurt.
CrossFit.
Oh, he's talking about the Tiger King, not the exercise. I don't know. How old is she? No. It's pretty bad. Okay, we're gonna do something called a frog pump. Here we're like trying to sound so smart. It's like, no, I'm not talking about exercise. You're gonna put your feet together again, kind of a funky position. And then we're going to bridge from here. We're actually going to bridge our hips, and this is kind of opening up that position that we're going to be using later for more of that sumo style or like box squat is what we're gonna do. So feet together, you're gonna push, squeeze your butt, opening up those hips. It's a really funky bridge. It's called a frog pump. This is like one of Brett Contreras' go-to butt hypertrophy exercises. Actually, the little instructional thing that he took us through when I met him was basically just changing the variation of the feet and like how some people feel it more with like narrow bases, some people feel it more with a wide base, and how they basically just taken every bridge variation and tried to match it to each individual, because we all do have different hips and stuff. So, but in general, like for me, definitely adductors feel a little bit tight here, but the more that I get my glutes to turn on, the more, you know, I can kind of open up in this position, which is what we're gonna need when we go to squat later. We're gonna do 10, and again, we're gonna take a good pause on that last one. How's it feel?
Sore.
You sore? Oh, Janelle biked yesterday.
30 miles, bro.
And pause, squeeze. About 10-second squeeze. Nice. How's it feel? Getting those hips open up a little bit. And last thing here. Oh no, we got 2 more things. Sorry. Hand walk out. We're just going to do 5 of those. So we're starting, let's go ahead and raise this up a little bit. These comments are super lag. Yeah, it's usually about a 10-second lag, which is a bummer, but that's just the way that that's set up. I had some other issues with this particular software, but we're doing our best. 5 hand walkouts. Walk out as far as you can, keeping those abs on. Just coming up to the point where you get a stretch, and then we're going back out. Three. Four. Okay, next one we got are basically forward and backward lunging. We put the camera up just a little bit. A little more. That's probably good. So from here, start feet together. You're going to do 10 total taps basically. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going 10 taps each leg. So you know that leg is staying planted. Yeah, I need shoes. Make that about 10. Now we'll go other leg. So here. 1, 2. Finish up your reps. Going back to the frog pump. If you want to spend more time on those 2 mobility drills, you can do it after we work out, or I recommend you working it in maybe before the workout. We have a lot to get to, so I don't want to spend a ton of time on those. Back to the frog pump. I'd rather spend more of our time together actually, strength training and all the mobility stuff and like foam rolling and all that stuff. Like I said, try and get that done before we start. 10 bridge. Feet together, wide base, frog pump. You done these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Different.
Yeah. Ten-second pause at the top once you got through 10. Hand walkout, one more time, 5. Yeah, I'll do it at an angle this way, yeah. In the corner. Walking down as far as you can. Keeping good position of those abs. We're also able to shoot a podcast this weekend, finally.
Finally.
We get to learn more about Janelle. Coming from being a Division I athlete to becoming a personal trainer, which is a pretty interesting journey because I don't know, I feel like it's pretty rare to be able to play at that level, right? To play a sport, Division I, or to play any level of professional, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, it's got to be a tough transition coming from being naturally talented and having talent and trying to teach other people who might not be able to pick things up as fast as you. So it's pretty cool for Janelle to become a coach and coach the type of people that she does. So we get to learn a lot more about that.
Yay.
Janelle's
What?
Tasha. Can you start calling? Those lunges one more time. Tasha's being funny. One more time with those lunges, falling forward, falling back.
We should wear Batman masks.
Yeah, where's the Batman?
Well,
What's up, Dan?
we can get Josh's sloth mask. I'll get a puppy.
Just 10 taps all together, so it's 5 and 5. What did I say?
Oh, it's on.
She's sleeping with it now? So today you're going to need maybe a heavy dumbbell. One heavy dumbbell would be nice, and then a couple of light ones to get through most of what we're going to do. So try to vary the exercises a little bit.
Tasha, you'll need 400 pounds.
Sasha, yeah. And okay. So first thing we're gonna work on, we're gonna end up doing 5 rounds of this particular exercise. I guess I don't need the mat.
Wearing a mask will help her sleep.
We're shooting for, depending on how strong you are, we're shooting on 3 to 5 total reps here. You're going to start at the top of a push-up. You're going to bring yourself down as slow as you can. And this is designed to get you sore. It's designed to kind of tear up the muscles a little bit and really challenge this position. So we've been doing a lot of eccentric work, but we haven't done it quite like this. That's why it's like 3 to 5 depending on how strong you are. If you're not super strong, you're going to have to come down a little bit faster, right? So I'll have you do a couple more. But if you can, you know, come down super, super slow and really fatigue yourself within a few reps, then that would be perfect. So let's get started kind of on your own time. Up at the top, nice and tight, and you're coming down literally as slow and in control as you possibly can. Slowly bringing yourself down to the floor. So I only do a few reps of these. You should be constantly making progress towards the floor, right? Nice and slow, there's no pausing. All the way down. And then you can either come back up, like, you'll be able to push yourself back up, or go to your knees and bring yourself back up. That's one. Like I said, if you're coming down a little bit faster, go ahead and do a couple more reps, but we're going to shoot for 3 good slow reps here. Can have a conversation. Keep everything tight. Keep those abs tight. Keep your butt tight. Constantly making progress towards the floor, but slowly. No pausing. It's all eccentric. That's going to be... One more time. Like I said, if you're coming down a little bit faster, then you can do a couple extra ones. Just really start to feel that burn now. Oh, man. It's harder than they look. Okay. This is where you're going to want to grab one of your heavier weights. You can use a couch. Since we have the bench, we'll use one of us will do that one. We're going to do a box squat, and so I'll do this one in a little bit of an angle so you can see. We're going to hold it just like we do the goblet squat, because that's probably the heaviest weight that we have. When we take our stance, we're going to go pretty wide, and we're going to turn our toes out slightly. Doesn't have to be too crazy, but this, wider base. As I go down, the thing we want to avoid is our knees collapsing in. I need to push the floor away, spread the floor, try and get my knees stacked over the middle of my feet, and it's more of getting my butt back, like a hinge, right? So when I have the bell, I'm really like pushing my knees out and trying to sit my butt back. As soon as I tap, boom, I'm right back up. I'm just coming to the point where I stop motion. I'm trying not to lose tension. I'm not sitting on the bench or on the couch. I'm just tapping, holding for like a second as I control myself from this position, and then I'm back up.
So wider than normal?
So yeah, we're going for a wider base than normal, trying to vary the movement a little bit, trying to make it a little bit different, loading the tissue a little bit differently, more of that lateral part of the hips. And from here we're shooting to go down, again, nice and slow, 5 seconds or so. So it's nice and slow, 3 to 5 seconds. Tap, I'm going to own the bottom as soon as my butt hits, and then I'm like, boom. Knees and hips extend at the same time. Really trying to get my hips back. Like you're sitting on the toilet. Push those knees out over the middle of the feet. I said 5 to 8, depending on how heavy your weight you have. Might need to do a couple more reps to really make this worth your time. How's it feel? We're going to go to a rolling plank next, so I'll just have one of us do this. Basically, you start a plank, you're going to have to shift your hands so that you can roll to one side. Let your feet roll too, right? So I start from my toes, I roll my feet flat to one side, I reach, coming down nice and slow, back to the plank, spending about 2 to 3 seconds in each position. Adjust the camera. Morning, Nathan. Saw you doing some sweet skateboarding tricks. Okay, rolling planks, we're gonna go 30 seconds. Spending about 2 to 3 seconds in each position, rolling the feet. Don't stack your feet, try and keep your feet away. There you go. 2 to 3 seconds. Back to the plank, 2 to 3 seconds. And then you're just gonna keep your foot where it's at. So they just pivot, right? You don't need to step over. Yep, there you go. Pull the elbows down, let the feet roll. You can roll all the way to the side of your feet. There we go, that's what's gonna really help us get to the side. Make sure we're still feeling good control of our abs. Take a big exhale, try and roll your tailbone. Make sure we're controlling our spine in that plank first. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just keeping good tension. Good. Going back to those push-ups. We're going to end up doing one more round of push-ups than we do everything else. Again, 3 to 5 reps. If you need to go elevated, like on a couch or on a table, whatever you have available to you, go ahead and do that. But again, I think most people should be able to at least do a couple here from the floor, because we're not really working on pushing ourselves up, we're just working on coming down nice and slow, right? And so, yeah, if you really feel like you need to, you can go ahead and elevate. Use the couch. But let's get it. We're going to try for 3 really good reps. If you're coming down with quite a bit of speed, do a couple more. Ready? Down, nice and slow. Keep your butt tight, keep your abs tight. Constantly making progress towards the floor. There is no pausing, but you're trying to do it in the slowest way possible. You should be shaking. If you're not shaking by the last rep, I don't think you're going to be able to accumulate enough fatigue to continue to make progress on this. You gotta challenge yourself. You gotta shake a little bit. That's a good thing. Finish up. If you got one more rep, go for it. But again, we're going to be doing 5 rounds of that one, so I want you to keep a little bit in the tank. Okay, going back to that sumo style. I'm going to put the camera up just a little bit, please.
Don't forget Nathan's killer workout on Saturday. Yeah, how was that, Richard?
Oh yeah.
Did you crush it?
A little higher. There we go. Oh yeah, was that like a circuit? It was a circuit, right? Alright, let's go. Wide base, pointing those toes out. Just going to the point where we have a tap of the couch or the bench, and then you're right back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I control the bottom and then I push. I'm not actually shifting any weight. I'm just using that as a marker. Tap and up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tap. Couple more. 4, 3. Five to 8 reps depending on what you got in you. So back to that rolling plank. And again, if the planks are tough for you, you can also do that from a bench or a couch from an elevated position. It might be a little bit harder if your couch isn't pretty firm. Will you count us for 30 seconds, Janelle? Again, here, I'm just letting my feet kind of rotate, right? So I'm going 2 seconds. I let my feet rotate. 2 seconds. Nice and slow. Squeezing in each position. Just getting a good, solid squeeze.
Halfway. 5, 2, 1. Dang!
push-ups. Give yourself a second.
Nice bench. It's a beautiful bench.
Who said that?
Dan. Metabolic Mike.
Is Mike in the house?
Muscle.
Hey, what's up, Mike? Okay, 3 to 5 reps, depending on your speed here. If you can go nice and slow, you should be able to get a good amount of stress with just 3 reps or so. And go. Coming down nice and slow, gripping the floor, making constant progress towards the ground, but doing it as slow as you possibly can. There is no pausing. Oh man. Should be starting to, this is the 3rd round, should be starting to get a little tired here. We still got 2 more rounds of that. Making quality. I'd rather you just do 1 or 2 if it's really getting that challenging for you. You go to the rolling plank. What's up, Mike? And go. So here you're rolling to one side, keeping those hips up, getting good tension in each position. Mike's probably stocked up on meat for a while. He can survive this craziness. Almost there.
Ain't even killing?
Yep. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh wait, we skipped the squat. Guess I really didn't want to do those squats. That's fine. We can just skip the rolling plank. This is going to be our 3rd squat. Yeah. You know, 3rd?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to do 4 total of the sumo. Let's get it going. Again, make sure you're pushing those knees out. We don't want those knees collapsing in here. Really trying to open up those hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just a tap and boom. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Save it, bro.
Last round
Finish off your gear.
of everything but the push-ups. We're gonna end with another push-up before we go to the next thing. Well, I got, looks like from what somebody sent me that this could be going on for another month. So my beard should be pretty thick by then. 2nd to last round of these push-ups. Make sure we're keeping these quality. If you feel like you're really struggling, just do 1 or 2. You don't have to do all 3. All right, let's do it. 5. 1. 2. finish strong, in control, good tension through the body. Last squat. Cool. Last squat, last rolling plank. I got one more of those descending push-up. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4. Last one. Last time with those rolling planks. Count us off.
Yeah.
Ready?
Go.
Just a couple seconds in each position. Just kind of get to the position, own it. Shake it off here for a sec. We got one more time with those push-ups, and then we're going to move into more of our accessory work. Got some new movements for you today. Well, maybe not all of them. Alright, last time here with those push-ups. Man, you start to really feel those shoulders. Let's make them good quality reps. Alright, ready? Keep those abs tight. Keep your butt tight. Come on. Really challenge yourself. You should be shaking. Should be getting pretty tired. Last one. Woo. Alright. Grab some water, catch your breath for a second. We're going to get into our next things here. So, we've got one thing here from standing, and then a couple things on the floor to really continue to build some of that upper body pushing motions. The first thing we're going to do though is just like I said, get some water. We're going to do a reverse lunge, and I'm going to have you do it from that front rack position with the dumbbell, and so it's just stepping back, keeping that weight in that front leg, step up. We're going to shoot for 8 to 10 on each side. Try and challenge yourself here. If you have a couple weights, you can go weights from the side, or you can go the goblet style with one heavy bell, depending on kind of how challenging you want to make this. You might need to go to 2 bells at your side. I'll try it with the 40s. Each leg, and these are definitely meant to kind of make you sore. So the third, oh, that's a 30 and a 40. That feels weird. All right, let's get it going. a sec. Alright, finish them out. You're gonna grab some lighter dumbbells here for the next two. I'd say anywhere between 10 to 20 pounds. I'm gonna go with lighter. I'm really going with the 10-pound weights for now. If you want to bump it up on the next round, go ahead, but keep it a little lighter here for the first one. So we're gonna do some flies from the floor, from here, coming down to the point where the forearm just starts to touch the ground. You don't have to set the weights all the way down on the floor, but then we're bringing it back up. Good squeeze together. Okay, 10 pounds might be a little light. Yeah. Here we're shooting for 10 to 15. A little more volume. Thank you. Again, weights don't hit the ground, it's just the forearm as you come down. Forearm taps. If you have shoulder issues, restrict the range of motion to keep you from really straining your shoulder there towards the end. Maybe just go to the elbow and then back up, right? These next ones, it's like a skull crusher, but it's a little different. It's a little more lat dominant. This one I might want to use the lighter ones actually. So it's called a, I think it's called like a saw skull. So again, we're in this kind of skull crush position, but instead of bringing the weights down, we're going to bring them straight overhead, kind of like an overhead press. And then back in, squeeze the lats. So it's basically like overhead pressing, but from a horizontal position. And then I could probably go a little higher. 20 seems like, again, 10 to 15 of these. Here, pressing straight overhead, pulling in, squeeze those lats just like a pull down, reaching straight out. Trying to keep those bells on the same plane. Push them out, pulling it, squeeze those armpits. Press it out, pull them in. Ten to 15. Now we're going back to those reverse lunges here when you're ready. One, two. We're on time. Yeah, this is about the time things started to get kind of weird. What's up, Barb? Getting a little sneak peek. She might not be here anymore. Yep, okay. Reverse lunge. Again. 8 to 10 here. In case we do cut out, this is going to be the last 3 exercises, just 3 rounds before we finish up today. Let's hope we don't have any issues.
Crazy, it's week 3.
Week 3. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. And it may go as long as another month. We'll see.
You gonna get sick of me?
Yep. Gonna. After those flies, 10 to 15, depends on kind of your shoulders and what you can do. You want these ones?
No, that's yours.
Again, you can restrict your range of motion here a little bit if it's bugging your shoulder at all. But try and squeeze those shoulder blades together as you bring the bells down. Squeezing those shoulder blades, opening up. So you finish out your reps. We're going to kind of that saw position. So your arms stay kind of locked in this 90-degree bend, and then it's just straight back overhead, straight here, right? It's not so much like a skull crush where I'm swinging my hands. Like my wrist should be the same distance from the ground pretty much the entire time as we do this one. So the 90. And so you're going to stay here. So you're keeping tension on those lats and triceps the whole time. Pulling it in like a pull down. Pushing it like an overhead press. Pulling it in. Okay, last round. Last round. Hopefully you guys are getting a good sweat on Monday. All right, let's go. Let's finish strong here. Eight to 10. Let's always get my heart rate up. Alright, last set of lunges. This will be the hardest part. And Last set of flies. One more fly. One more time with those modified skull crush. If you have time, try and practice some swings after you get done. Try and do a few rounds of swings either with the dumbbell or the kettlebell. Try and keep that heart rate up a little longer. We'll see if we make it and we have enough time, we'll do them too. All right, 10 to 15. Depending on how much weight you got and how much your shoulders can take. If you have enough energy to do all 15, go for it. Last time with this kind of skull crush saw position. Also 10 to 15. Starting with that 90-degree bend. Pressing, pulling. Pressing overhead, pulling my elbows in tight. Pressing overhead. Come on. Finished up. Catch your breath there for a second. And then we will finish. So we got time, right? Yeah, even if it cuts out, we're going to do 3 sets, 10 swings. Just keeping that heart rate up here before we leave. Thanks again for joining me. I always love the accountability of getting up in the morning. Even during these times where there's a lot of uncertainty. So again, in our swing position, we talked about this a little bit last time. Hopefully it doesn't cut you off. The bell is going to come right underneath your butt. Right, so I'm going to hike the bell. It's going to come underneath my butt. I'm going to load just to the point where I'm like in my hinge position. I don't need to go super deep like a squat, and I don't want to be put off balance when I go to explode up. So literally my hands break my hips, bell stays right underneath my butt, boom, like a broad jump. I'm trying to extend through my hips and snap my way up. Here at the top, you should feel like you're in a plank. Quads, butt, abs, nice and tight. The weight is too heavy if you're leaning back, or you're not staying planted enough with your feet and your legs, right? So here, and I'm always gonna load and unload the bell slightly out in front of me, or I can come down like a deadlift, but if the weight is swinging, I'm just gonna use the momentum to set it back down when I'm done. So from here, owning my hinge position. If this position is already challenging for you, then maybe you just start here by sitting in that hinge, controlling it, and then you start with one hike, just to feel, that you can still control the weight from that position. If it's knocking you off balance, you need to build more strength in your hinge. From here, hike. Remember, this exercise is more to develop your hips and your core. It's not a shoulder exercise. See some people that are like really bringing the bell up really high. Keep your elbows soft and your armpits tight. And you can always bend at the elbows a little bit to help you control the weight. It shouldn't come above your shoulder. You want this to be more about loading the hips and your hinge. Got 10 more. Again, I'm getting back in my hinge. I bring the bell forward, right under the butt.
And then I'm going to set it back down the way that I found it. Another way to improve your hinge, another mistake that we see people make, is they tend to hinge back too quickly. So before the bell even gets there, they're already back in their hinge, and it kind of throws the timing off. So pretend like you have a weight in your hand. I swing. I'm going to wait for the bell to unhinge me. Seems a little daunting having a weight flying at your crotch, right? But you got to trust that it's going to be right underneath your hips. Pop. Pop. It's a fast motion, right? From hinge to pop to plank. It's basically hinge, plank. Hinge, plank. Elbow soft, lats are on a little bit, right? It's going to help her control the weight. Pop. 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 Nice. You can still do it with a dumbbell. It's fine. Grip's just going to be a little awkward. It's a great exercise. What I've been prescribing to a lot of my clients is for every hour that they're sitting to do 30 seconds of swings, just to help get that posterior chain lit up, help kind of excitate the body a little bit. It's a great movement, and I encourage you to do the same. If you're doing a lot of sitting right now, swing a bell, get up, just do a few swings. You don't have to do a lot of them, just do a few swings, get the body waking up, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. I hope to see you here tomorrow. I know we've had our same crew every morning. That's been pretty consistent. I really appreciate that. Jesse, Richard, Amy, you guys have been awesome. Definitely keeping me motivated to keep doing this. There are a lot of people watching later after I put them on YouTube, which is really cool. And for all of you that are doing that, thank you so much. Again, if you have any feedback, we really appreciate it, because we're still learning how to do this. You know, this isn't my normal training experience. So if there's something that you'd like to see, some questions we could answer, let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you tomorrow, 7 a.m.